we're going to try to make a sample dichotomous key. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things to categorize. And the idea of a dichotomous key is it's a way to tell these things apart if you don't know what they are, with a series of questions that each have 2 choices. When doing a dichotomous key, you want to look for some similarities and some differences. So if you were trying to figure out how to categorize these things, these people, you wouldn't say, oh, do they have 2 eyes? All of these things have 2 eyes. You can't say, do they have eyebrows? They all have eyebrows. So you'll need to find some things that are similar among some groups, but different among the rest. The choices that you make could be better or worse, but at the start anyway, all we need to do is make sure that every single choice that we ask about separates at least one organism, one thing from the group. So we start with question number 1. Question number 1 is going to be something that divides one from the other. So if we're doing one from the other, I think we have a lot of choices here. Maybe we can have a choice that says, do they have hair or not? Because that peels one off right away. So, do they have hair? And if it's yes, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that have hair. We haven't narrowed it down, so we have to ask more questions. So go to question number, let's just go to question 2. But if there is no hair present, there's only one of those. So that is whoever person number 1 here is in this picture. So we're done asking questions about number 1. We don't have to think about number 1 anymore. For question 2, this is among the things that all have hair. And from these, we might ask something like, well, from what I can see in this picture, there are a few good choices. We could do eye color. We could do, is there an eye scar or not? We could do skin tone. We can do shape of nose. We can do hairstyle. We could also do something like, I just noticed right now, necklace. There are 2 of these who have necklaces and 2 who do not. So, this was number 2 and number 3. Maybe we can say wearing a necklace or not. And if they are, well, that's these 2. We still have to ask more questions. And if they're not, that's these 2. And we still have to ask more questions. So we haven't eliminated anybody, but we have broken this group of 4 into 2 groups of 2. So the next question has got to be about, go to 3, was the people with the necklaces. So the people with the necklaces, we could ask a question like eye color. We could ask about eyebrow color, hair color. Those are all a little bit different. We could ask about hairstyle. We could ask some questions that are not as good would be questions like, is this a boy or a girl? Because that's something that's really hard to tell from a picture. But we can ask about individual features. So maybe we'll ask, is there hair on the sides of the head? Because this guy here looks like the sides of his head have been shaved, and or maybe they don't have hair, I don't know. But that's something that can get us so the one that does have hair on the sides of the head, that's number 2. And the one that does not, that's number 3. And, that's not what I wanted to do, just number 3. So that means number 2 and number 3 have also been described, they've been named. So we only have to ask questions now about these guys. And that's under question number 4. So for question number 4, we need to ask something that will differentiate these two. We can ask about eye color, we can ask about hairstyle, we can ask if they're wearing a headband thing, we can ask about colors that are present, we can ask about scar on the face, we can ask a lot of things. So maybe we'll ask, maybe we'll ask about the eye scar. So scar on the face around the eye, or no, and that will get us there. So we could ask, is there a scar on the face? Yes or no. The one who does have a scar on the face was number 5, and the one who didn't was number 4. And those were the last 2 that we had to name. When you're doing a dichotomous key project, you don't necessarily need to have the scientific name or the proper name of what you're looking at. The exercise in Bio 20 is going to be about just, can you make a series of questions that somebody else can read through and decide what they're looking at. So we'll try this. We'll try this out. We'll pick somebody to ask questions about. So we'll ask questions about, well, let's try number 1. So we go through, we always start at question number 1. Sorry, we always start at question number 1. Number 1. Is there hair present? No, there isn't. Oh, he's named number 1. Okay, cool. Done. That's the right name. That's good. Works. Let's try asking about person number 2. So when we read through, we should be able to get to the end point that says they're named 2. So, do they have hair? Yes, they do. So we should ask question number 2. Do they have a necklace? Yes. So go to question number 3. Is there hair on the sides of the head? Yes. So her name is 2. I could have named them A, B, C, D, E. That probably would have been smarter. If we ask about person 3, 4, and 5, we should be able to go through these questions. Anybody should be able to go through these questions and have a name that agrees with the name that we have identified over here.